the legends who made us laugh in the first place. KBLA Talk 1580 is proud to present our annual Black History Month luncheon. And this year, we're honoring comedy greats, trailblazers who broke barriers, and funny bones at the same time.
You had to grow up early when we was growing up because your parents were seen to the store to buy. You was too young to buy. I want you to go to the store, get me a fifth of gin and a pack of cigarettes. Mama, I'm 2. They ain't gonna let me have that. Here, take this note. You be a little boy walking down the street with liquor and cigarettes. And your neighbors be going, that's a good little boy right there.
We need a little levity right about now. So we're rolling out the red carpet for comedy royalty. D.L. Hughley, Melanie Camacho, Earthquake, Lunel, Dion Cole, Martin Lawrence, and a surprise guest appearance. It's going up Thursday, February 26th in downtown LA at the Grammy Museum. An unforgettable afternoon of stories, celebration, and yes, plenty of laughs. Because let's be real, these legends don't just tell jokes. They have changed the game, opened doors, and made history while making us smile.
You gotta go to child support court. You gotta get there real early in the morning. You see brothers going into court. You see them come out 3 hours later. I can't pay this. Let me talk to you, baby. Please, let me talk to the witness, Your Honor. Let me talk to the witness. Brother be working for 3 weeks, get his check is $43.
This year, for the first time ever, we have set aside a limited number of individual tickets for the luncheon. They are going to go fast, and when they're gone, they're gone. So, if you want a single ticket, or if your company or organization wants to sponsor a table, move swiftly and get to KBLA1580.com right now. All these comedy giants in one room on one stage at the same time? Stop it! This event is going to sell out quicker than right now and sooner than at once. KBLA Talk 1580's annual Black History Month luncheon, Thursday, February 26th at the Grammy Museum. It's gonna be legendary, just like them.
What's up? What's up?
What's up? You got to laugh the pain away.
First things first.
First things first, it's the DU General, Money B. I'ma put you up on the schedule, 6 to 9, 8 weekdays, not too unsettle you. Let's go. We got a lot to talk about, so much to pedal through. Unapologetically progressive. Tune to KBLA 1580 to get the mess. We're your ancestors' favorite radio station. First black on talk radio, left side of the nation. Me and Dominique the Prima go way back. Tag Smiley making sure the station stays black. Discussing all the issues in our community. We're hosted black and brown and others find unity. So let's talk about it. Maybe we can improve it. Digital underground, always down with the movement. So we tune in. The first things first with the queen of Black Talk Radio, Dominique the Prima. Go sis.
First things first.
KBLA Talk 1580. Good morning. Happy Monday. God bless. I'm Dominique DePrima. The show is called First Things First, and my first thing today and every day is prayer, giving thanks, giving praises, asking for blessings from God, asking for the blessings of the ancestors and the elders, and let's go. It's a busy day. Surprise, surprise. We got a lot to talk about. We call them Mindful Mondays because we have a little prayer, a guided meditation, affirmation, and an astrological outlook. That's the second hour of our show on Mondays with Sahara Ali. Then after that, we go, well, national and international and beyond. But today it's a big announcement, and you are definitely going to want to check this announcement out. We'll talk music, but it's an historic moment for those of us on the left coast. It's also an historic moment for anyone who loves Black music, arts, culture, and resistance. So yay, big announcement. And then hour 3, we do a deep dive on a hot topic or a person or persons of interest. Today we're focused on your health and well-being as we set our intentions for this Black History Month and this historical new year. We'll be joined by McCoy Zeno of Zeno Wellness. Right now, though, in the studio with me, what we used to call our partner in politics. She's an organizer, a mom, professor, a consultant on all things diversity and equitable, LaMikia Castillo. Good morning.
Good morning.
Great
Happy
to
Monday.
see you. Yeah, happy Monday indeed. Great to see you live and in the studio.
Thanks for having me. And happy Black History Month, Black Futures Month, All Black Things Month to all the Black people.
Indeed. Yeah. Speak to that a little bit, because, we're hearing more and more people say, well, why we should celebrate more Black futures and Black history, or we should be celebrating both of those together. What's that about, do you think?
I think especially younger generations are wanting to celebrate the things that they are putting forward in the world and thinking about the future of Blackness and wanting to kind of shed the narrative that the United States has created around Black people being just enslaved. I think that's a lot of where it comes from, at least from what I've heard from folks, younger generations, some of my own students. I personally feel like we can celebrate both, right? Like there's no reason to not celebrate Black history, because we know that we live in a country that has tried to erase the history of Black people and only, basically make it so that we only see one aspect. There's like a monolithic perspective of Black folks in this country. And that's not who we are. We are so much more than being enslaved. Though, for myself as an ethnic studies, I was in ethnic studies and urban studies and planning double major. And I know that history is really important. And when we look at what's going on in this country today, if we don't recognize Black history, if we don't look at what happened in the past, I don't see how we can move forward, in a way that's going to produce the type of future that I think a lot of Black folks want, which is prosperity, joy, freedoms, things like that.
Yeah, I think it's also the pain about looking back, or the, fatigue maybe, is that the way Black History Month is taught, it makes it seem, in this country, it makes it seem like our history begins at enslavement.
Right.
And so when you talk to the Ashraquazis or the John Henrik Clarks of the world, and you start to realize that, Black folks created architecture and mathematics, and actually the first doctor was Imhotep, who the do no harm comes from him, and the Greeks copied all this stuff, then it seems like the Black history has more in common with Black futures, because we were so far ahead and we planted the seeds, the roadmap for civilization.
Right.
Our ancestors did.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that that's what Black History Month should be about, right? The connection between those two. And I agree with you 100%. I think that, so when I used to teach a course at Cal State LA, Black, Latino, and Latin American relations. And this is one of the things we would talk about, right? Who actually came to the Americas? Was Christopher Columbus? Did he actually discover the Americas? Were there folks who explored, prior to Christopher Columbus, and still they wouldn't have discovered anything where people already existed? But we looked at the Olmecs and looking at the pyramids in Mexico and different signs that there were some of our African ancestors had been to the Americas long before folks came here through the transatlantic slave trade. And it was always controversial, right? Because students were like, what are you talking about? There's no way that that's real. But we explored that quite a bit. And I think it was mind blowing for them, as it was for me when I learned for the first time in college that Black history didn't start with enslavement in the Americas. Like there was so much more prior to that. And I think that the more we can talk about those things openly, the more we can celebrate the wins of the past that folks probably are not aware of, because the whitewashed history that we receive has intentionally eliminated those things. And then also, like you said, it'll tie to Black futures and what people really are looking for.
Yeah. And right now, obviously everyone knows now Black history is being erased. The city of Philadelphia is suing the White House for taking down panels depicting our enslavement, which they had an agreement to keep up. So I feel like right now, while I'm all here for Black futures, I've always been annoyed that we're erased from the future in most Hollywood movies. But I also feel there's a defiance and an urgency to celebrating Black History Month that maybe wasn't there as much before.
Yeah. Definitely by the White House, I would say that's true. And some of these Republican elected officials, like you look at Florida, right, eliminating all history pretty much, except white history, except the narrative of white supremacist leaders in this country, which is a big piece of history, obviously, here. And then I did see what was going on in Philadelphia. We were there last year and took pictures at those images.
Really?
Yeah.
In the nick of time?
Yeah.
That's crazy. I mean, so many professors that I know are just dismayed by the rapid dismantling of, monuments and little plaques and different just footprints of our Black contributions in this country. And it's funny because it's white history too. To your point, the one that they're putting forth is the Confederate, the white supremacists, because even John Brown is not going to be glorified by this administration.
Right. Absolutely. I think I would encourage people to ask why. Why is it so important to this administration that our history be erased, even the pieces of our contributions and our contributions through inventions like George Washington Carver and others, and also enslavement, right? They're trying to erase both of those things. And the question is why? Because when you look at, I think, the folks who are so supportive, continue to be supportive of the Trump administration, they don't understand. They don't know that history. They don't have an understanding of that history. They've been lied to, right, in the education system.
Yeah, and they've been lazy.
That's that part too.
I mean, I because... Yeah, there's a reason Trump won't release his transcripts, his school transcripts. And yeah, you're right. They've been lied to also. Some of it isn't their fault, but I will never forget him saying that Frederick Douglass is doing a really great job. F.
Right.
F for you, sir. Yeah, there's a lot going on. We can unpack it. If you guys want to weigh in, it's 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. You can also hop into YouTube. The comments section is a whole chat, and that's at KBLA 1580 on YouTube.com. Or you can call us the old-fashioned way, 800-920-1580. Drop a note, a comment, like, subscribe at any of the social media platforms at KBLA 1580. I'm at DePrima Radio, and LaMikia is at
LaMikia Castillo.
Yeah, LAMIKIA. LAMIKIA, and then Castillo.
Yes.
CASTILLO. So, stop by. All right, we're going to keep this conversation going when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DePrima when we come forward.
If you owe back taxes, listen carefully to rule number 1. Never go up against the IRS alone. They're cracking down, freezing bank accounts, garnishing paychecks, canceling passports. Even your home or business could be at risk. But here's what they don't tell you. The IRS has powerful tax relief programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. That's why smart people call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. Nobody knows these programs like the experts at Optima. Their team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $2 billion in tax debt for people just like you. The IRS is not stopping, so don't wait. And don't take them on alone. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, call Optima today for a free consultation.
Call 800-919-9077. 800-919-9077. 800-919-9077.
Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com. We've got a lot to talk about.
Hi, I'm Zoe Williams, a.k.a. the Voice of Reason, encouraging you to join me weekdays from 7 to 9 p.m. for the world's most intriguing relationship radio roundtable. Every night, I facilitate and encourage our loyal listeners to participate in the most engaging relationship discussions you'll hear anywhere. So make it a point to rendezvous with me, Zoe Williams, the Voice of Reason, Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Trust me, your relationships will never be the same. The VOR is on fire tonight.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part? They accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right, so we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
Are you 50 or older? This news is for you. The CDC recommends you get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at risk. People 50 or older are over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults 18 to 49. Just one shot can help protect you. Learn more and schedule at vaxassist.com. That's VAXassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Your ancestors' favorite radio station, and your favorite morning show host. Let's get back to Dominique DePrima right now.
So, of course, Sanford and Son, one of my faves. I mean, that's like a pioneering television show, not just because it was hilarious, but because back then it was very, very rare to have an all-black cast, and especially with such an outspoken kind of comedy. It wasn't, shucking and jiving and tap dancing. It really, to me, that show was for black people. It wasn't catering to the white gays at all.
No, absolutely. I grew up watching it with my mom and my grandmother, and even as a kid, it was like, what is going on? But it was also hilarious. And of course, you got to remember that the intro music. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun. I don't know. It just like
and of course I found out years later it's Quincy Jones, so no wonder it rocked so hard.
Yes.
It was like, okay. Well, Damon Wilson, who was one of the stars of that show, Lamont Sanford, Fred Fox's son in the show, passed away. He was 79. He had cancer. And just wanted to give him some love. It sounds like he had a really rocky journey in Hollywood, even though he was super successful. He was in a lot of movies and stuff. He had a mansion, apparently, in Bel Air, which he sold and dropped out of the Hollywood industry. I mean, at least for the last few years of his life.
Yeah, I know you sent me an article about his passing, and it definitely brought back memories of sitting and watching, the TV with my mom and my grandmother, my aunts, and seeing that he left Hollywood and then he became a pastor.
Yeah.
That was mind blowing to me. I didn't know all of those things about like his health when he was a child. He was really sick and decided to dedicate his life to God. It's just it's so interesting what you learn about, folks who you grew to admire or watched on TV and saw how they made you laugh and brought like joy, and then to hear that backstory.
Right. They're part of your life, but you don't know that much. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I didn't realize I think, started on Broadway when he was a little kid, like 12 or something, which is pretty rare. And it was even more rare, that many years ago. He's hilarious. The show is hilarious. I'll probably go watch some of it today. But I think it was telling, the whole thing about he wanted to get his kids a normal life. So he moved out to Orange County to what he called a respectable Republican neighborhood and got away and became a preacher. And, Hollywood is tough, especially, I think, for black men. If you're not willing to do certain kinds of roles to sort of almost... bow down to the Hollywood aesthetic. It's like they got a buck break, black men in Hollywood. And so I don't know if it's that he was really conservative, because it seemed like he was joking when he said that. I didn't hear it. I just read it. But I don't know if he was really conservative or if he was just fed up.
Yeah. I mean, I could see him being just fed up. My husband went to film school and worked in Hollywood right out of film school for a little bit. And he was so disappointed when he got there and saw. I remember he would come home from being on set all day long. He was in he wanted to be a director, and he was in cinematography, and he was just like, black men get typecast all the time. He was on set where there was a white director. Now they made like comedies about this, right? A white director trying to tell a black man how to be a gangster in a movie. And and Daniel was like, I can't do this anymore. And so that's literally why he left the industry. He was like, I can't be a part of this. This is terrible, but I want us to be able to tell our own stories and own our own stories. And so he started teaching filmmaking to kids at Morningside High School in Inglewood. But he left really, I mean, after a couple years, he was like, this is too much. It's sickening. Like, I can't be here for this.
Yeah, I think it's really tough. I think it's tough for everybody, but especially Black men. And it's interesting because I feel like, oh, it's gotten better. You see all these Black shows and more variety and everything. But then this report comes out that shows, I think it's 2% of content on streamers has Black creators and producers. So we're really still in similar situations, even though. And it's funny because we were talking about one battle after another, which is up for a bunch of Oscars. And some people feel they're going to honor that one and slap Sinners down.
Oh,
that Sinners got more nominations than any movie in history. Right. Will they get any prizes? We shall see. But that's a movie, and I haven't seen it yet. I will. That's a movie about activism, with a Black activist centered, and it's directed by a white Hollywood director. So even though it might not be as blatant as them showing us how to be gangsters, it still goes on. I remember that too. They would ask me if I could sound more Black. I'm like, I don't know what that means.
Right. How you gonna ask a Black woman to sound more Black? Like, what am I supposed to sound like?
That happened to me more than once in an audition. Yeah. Can you sound more Black? Can you show me what you mean by that?
Right. How Black do you want me to sound?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Yeah, it's crazy. So rest in peace, Damon Wilson. Whatever his politics, he brought a lot of joy to all of us. And maybe we need to go back and look at some of that because it's a little heavy right now. Yeah. Does it weigh on your heart, all the things that are happening in our country right now? I know you're really plugged in politically and you're an activist.
It weighs on my heart every single day. I remember, a week and a half? Oh, just a week and a couple days ago, when we first saw the video footage in Minnesota of the young man being killed. And I literally cried. I was just like, this is so heavy. It's so heavy. I'm looking at my babies and thinking we brought them into this. We brought them into this world. We brought them into what is happening right now. And then going out to the protests, we did go this past Saturday, Friday, participated in the strike and went out downtown. And, it re-energizes you to be there in the space with other folks. And it's a great reminder that you're not by yourself. You're not insane, right? The people who are leading are insane, but they are also very dangerous. And we are all, none of us are exempt from whatever pain the pain and the trauma that they're inflicting on this entire nation.
Yep. It's true. And that's why it's great that so many people, we're out there, and I feel like people are waking up. At least I hope they are. They did identify those two Border Patrol agents that killed Preti, and they are Raimundo Gutierrez and Jesus Ochoa.
Wow.
And I kind of feel like the irony there should speak for itself. It's just crazy how anyone can be an ICE agent. I don't know anything about these guys yet, but just the fact that they're just signing up people who are members of white supremacist organizations, people who have their own agendas, terrible agendas. Of course, Keith Porter Jr., I want to say his name every time we talk about Alex Preddy or Renee Good. Yeah.
Keith Porter Jr. and his family are right here in Los Angeles. He was the first one that we know of who was killed by ICE agent, off-duty ICE agent, Brian Palacios. I don't even want to say his name, but I think people need to know what his name is. And he still hasn't been arrested.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm still stuck on the police chief actually having a press conference where he said he's not going to enforce the state's mask mandate. And there is a mask mandate at the county level too. But I mean, we know that the LAPD often doesn't comply with the law. We know that.
Right.
But to me, if you're at a state where you're going to have a press conference and tell people you're not going to comply with the law, that's open mutiny.
It is. But we also called it. Didn't I call that when we were talking about this a couple months ago? Like, oh, this law is coming into place. And I was like, oh, it's coming in January, but who's going to enforce it? Is LAPD actually going to come out and tell these ICE agents you can't walk around without masks on? Please.
Yeah, no, I didn't expect them to do that. Like, I'm optimistic, but not that naive. But I didn't expect a press conference. That's what I'm saying. That's like open mutiny against the governor, against the mayor, against the LA County Board of Supervisors. You are not a lawmaker. You are the police chief. You're supposed to be an enforcer of the laws that the lawmakers make. And like I said, they do what they do anyway, right? But do you feel the need to come out and say, no, I'm not doing that?
It's wild. It's wild.
Where's the city council?
Where's the accountability?
Yeah,
right?
I mean, isn't the I know that the police chief serves at the pleasure of the mayor, but I also know that the LA City Council has oversight. And if I'm the governor and a major city police chief is saying, nah, I'm not doing that, I'm going to push back on that too. Where's the attorney general? What is happening?
Right. Right. Again, who holds the police accountable? That's why we say we keep us safe, right?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, on Friday, right, the violence that the police just rained on people at the end of the protest. We were leaving when all of that started to break out, but I saw video footage. We were walking back to the car when all the helicopters and, police cars started zooming down the street. And I saw video footage of a woman who was pregnant who was hit with rubber bullets. I have no idea what happened to her. Another person was shot in the face with rubber bullets. This is by LAPD. This is not by ICE. It is by LAPD that this happened, right? And so, again, when we look at what ICE is doing and then we look at LAPD, everybody who's on these videos saying, call 911 against ICE, I'm like, when you call 911, they're going to join ICE and they're going to attack you with ICE. Like, y'all have to be very thoughtful about what you're doing in terms of saying something like that, right? Like, they're not here to help or protect or serve the way they claim to be. And it's scary. It's scary.
Every single protest we've seen that since all of this phase of bringing in the military and the feds against American citizens and U.S. citizens in American cities. The cops have made it clear which side they're on. 800-920-1580. We've got news, traffic, and sports, then more, only right here.
More of First Things First with Dominique DePrima when we come forward.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. 3 suspects are in custody after a string of home break-ins in Woodland Hills, Los Angeles. One resident security camera caught the crew in action.
I think they were just trying to grab and go. They took my money counter. They took just random things around the house.
Hours later, police arrested a second group after they tried hiding in a Tesla that sped away in reverse, crashing into several parked cars. The University of Iowa is reviewing 13 low enrollment majors, including African American Studies, Gender and Sexuality Studies, and Religious Studies, after a Board of Regents mandate. The study will also look at funding, class sizes, costs, and how each program fits the university's mission. And actress Catherine O'Hara has died at 71. The Emmy-winning star of Beetlejuice and Home Alone passed away Friday in a Los Angeles hospital after a brief illness. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
For victims of drunk and drug driving, our grief is unique. But you are not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call our 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Lakers had a sluggish second half Sunday night in New York at Madison Square Garden. They scored only 18 points in the fourth quarter in their 112-100 loss to the Knicks. After the game, LeBron found out he had been picked as a reserve for the NBA All-Star game. This will be LeBron's 22nd straight year as an All-Star, an NBA record. The All-Star game is February 15th at the Intuit Dome in Inglewood. The Clippers will not have any players on the All-Star roster in their home arena. Kawhi Leonard and James Harden were not selected as reserves. Leonard ranks 7th in the league in scoring with 27.7 points per game. Since December 20th, Leonard leads the league in scoring, steals, and free throw percentage. Harden is averaging 25.4 points and 8.1 assists. The Clippers pulled away for a 117-93 win Sunday in Phoenix. Leonard dropped 25. The Clippers are at home tonight against Philadelphia. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
They call it progress, but progress has a price. Land once held in black hands, taken, stolen, erased. Acres paved into highways, fields burned. Homes replaced by parking lots and broken promises. Every deed lost was a dream deferred. We talk about millionaires, but what about the millionaires that never were? The farmers whose soil was seized. The families who watched their inheritance disappear. The wealth that never had a chance to grow because its roots were ripped from the ground. They took the land, but never the legacy, because the soil remembers, and so do we. Every story matters. Our mission is to collect, preserve, and amplify these stories. If this is part of your family's history, visit blacklandlost.org/share your story and help bring us closer to justice.
February 4th is Transit Equity Day. To mark the occasion, Metro is offering free rides all day on the 4th. Providing safe, accessible, and affordable transportation is a commitment Metro makes year-round. Learn more at thesource.metro.net. Protect yourself from Medicare card scams. Scammers may call, email, or even knock on your door claiming they need your Medicare info, asking for money or threatening to cancel your benefits. Don't fall for it. It's a scam. Remember, Medicare doesn't need to verify your information. They already have it. Medicare won't charge you for a new card and will never threaten to cancel benefits. Check your Medicare statements for suspicious charges and report scams to the California Senior Medicare Patrol at 1-855-613-7080. We're here to help.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with the world. African Focus Incorporated is a community-based organization whose mission is to bring Africans and African Americans together, lead charitable initiatives on the motherland, and educate people from all walks of life on the beauty, legacy, and opportunity of Africa's 54 nations. And it's that time once again when African Focus is teaming up with KBLA Talk 1580 for our 8th annual African Focus Trailblazers Tour. Travel with us in 2026 when we're headed to the southern African nations of Zambia and Botswana for a historical, cultural, and vacation tour led by me, Dominique DePrima, Cultural Ambassador for African Focus Incorporated. Enjoy luxurious accommodations, conscious fellow travelers, shopping, adventures, cultural tours, wildlife safaris, and a giant waterfall, one of the world's 7 wonders, along with a chance to be of service at an orphanage on the continent. Become an AFI trailblazer by exploring the motherland with a nonprofit organization that has members in Africa and America to help roll out the red carpet for you, and together we'll make a difference and have fun doing it. For more information, visit africanfocus.org or call 310-676-7300. That's 310-676-7300 or africanfocus.org. Whether it's stateside or exploring the diaspora, we're with you every step of the way. African Focus and KBLA Talk 1580. Come go with us.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DePrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
Yes, indeed. The Grammys were, well, we'll probably talk a little bit more about that next hour because we got a big musical announcement. But I didn't watch the whole thing because I hardly ever do. But it seemed like it was very politically activated this year, which is a return to the olden days in a way.
Yes. I like that. I like the political activation through music and arts. That's what it should be.
Yeah, I agree. But sometimes those artists do pay a price when they speak out, from the label or from the fans or whatever. Everyone was on the F-Ice this year.
Yep.
Kalani actually said that in her speech.
I always appreciate Kalani. Kalani always has the right things to say at the right moment, and she does not mince words. Love you, Kalani.
And she won.
Yes.
She won for Folded, so Yeah, congrats going out to her. Yeah, last year, wasn't she saying something about Palestine? And
she was.
Yeah,
she's been speaking out about AI as well. And, I really appreciate her.
Yeah, she's bold. And, this is the time. I mean, people are either going to shrink or they're going to get emboldened. So, shout out to her. And I guess this is Trevor Noah's last year hosting it. He's taking control of his career. Man, I would like to be like him. But look, last week there was the arrest of Don Lemon in Georgia Fort by federal agents, journalists who were covering a protest in a church, and also, from my perspective, people that the president has a vendetta against, right?
Mm-hmm.
Don Lemon, he hated when he was on CNN. Georgia Fort, of course, did groundbreaking coverage of Michael Brown and Ferguson, and has been on the radar of these folks for a long time.
Yes.
But there were some activists who were also arrested, and people, I think, are confused, and they think they lump everybody together. The youngest one and the final one that is being arrested right now is Jerome Richardson. And ironically, Jerome is part of the Black Lives Matter Youth Vanguard.
Mm-hmm.
He's a student at Temple University and a senior.
Yeah, he's supposed to graduate in May. He's in his last semester of school.
But he was, from what I understand, he was there as an intern for Don Lemon.
Yes. So I have not met him before, but I did get a chance to watch his plea for support from the community, and I encourage y'all to go look on his social media. I'll look for his Instagram. I think it's just his name. But
Jerome Richardson, by the way, Jerome with a J.
Thank you. Yes, Jerome Richardson, and he put out a video. I think it was yesterday, and he asked for prayers. He said, "Look, he's from I think St. Paul." So he said, I was helping Don Lemon to connect with folks on the ground who were organizing. That's what he was doing, because Don Lemon is a reporter, and that's what reporters do.
Right. And when you come into a place that you're not as familiar with, you'll get somebody who's connected. In my opinion, Don Lemon should be putting up this kid's legal fees.
Absolutely.
Because if he was there to help you, I'm not going to leave a kid that was there, a college kid that was there helping me as a journalist while I'm a cause celeb because I'm famous, to just blow in the wind. So if anybody knows Don Lemon,
please reach out.
Even if you don't know him, DM him. And I thought that Jerome was being modest, but he does have a GoFundMe because he's got to pay all these legal fees, and he's a college student.
Right. A college student who was literally interning. That's what college students are supposed to do. You get an internship in the field that you're interested in. And he happens to be a college student who's also an activist and interning to, get out the word about what's happening on the ground in his hometown. And so it's pretty disgusting. It's despicable when you think about the Trump administration targeting a young, his career hasn't even started. He literally is not even graduated from college. And he seemed very shaken by it in his video.
Who wouldn't be?
Right.
He had to turn himself in this morning. And by the way, if you're in Philly, his court date is at 1:30 p.m. at 601 Market Street in Philadelphia. He's asking, and Black Lives Matter is asking people to come out and support this young man. He's away at school, so he doesn't have family there. And we don't want him to feel like he's alone against the feds right now. It's also interesting that out of the 5 people that were targeted, they're all black, right? 2 of them are Black Lives Matter grassroots.
Mm-hmm.
So what does that say to me? That confirms my theory that this is get back. This is
absolutely.
Revenge. Yeah.
Absolutely. Please, folks, if you're in Philly and you're listening, go show up and support this young man. He should not be fighting this battle by himself at all.
Yeah, that to me seems like it would be so scary. I try to think back when I was 21, how would I have handled that?
Right.
And I don't think well. So I would encourage you. I know they have the video up on Black Lives Matter Grassroots at BLM Grassroots, or you can look for him. I don't know. We'll find his handle, Jerome Richardson. He's got a GoFundMe, and nobody's hardly donating at all so far. I'm gonna find it today and give the brother some money, because and you know, and I really am serious about DM or comment under Don Lemon and say, dude, you know, go get your intern.
Right.
The feds, the feds caught him.
Yeah, Don Lemon needs to do something, and all of us need to stand behind him. So his Instagram handle is officially OFFICIALLY Jerome, JEROME. That's his Instagram handle, and the GoFundMe is gofundme.com/support Jerome Richardson. That's what it is. So go look for support Jerome Richardson. Right now there's $10,000 in there. He's going to need more than $10,000. He's up against the feds, people. He needs way more than that. And think about the fact that he's missing school right now in his last semester. There's so much.
That's the part that's heartbreaking and doesn't seem at all accidental. He's missing school. He's going to be rattled. You know, what kid can, I mean, hopefully he's in good standing. I'm sure he is, because the BLM Youth Vanguard kids tend to be pretty motivated. But how do you go across the finish line your senior year when you have to deal with this?
It's tough. And you know, it's not like we haven't seen this again before from the Trump administration. They're going to use Jerome, and they are using Jerome as an example because they want to scare other youth who are activists from speaking out, right? We've seen this with the folks from Palestine. They were who were some of the first people that got deported, that got arrested by ICE, right? Folks who they said were terrorists because they spoke out against, Israel, or said that we need to support Palestinians. And those are the folks that they targeted. And they were young, and they were college students, right?
Yeah. Aside from the fact that this administration has gone after the activists, Chantel Allen and Sharon, I can't think of his last name right now, you probably know. They were BLM grassroots people. Mm-hmm. Those are, so clearly this administration knows which is the real Black Lives Matter, because they're going after them.
Right.
And now this young person who's part of the Youth Vanguard, and every single journalist is Black.
All 100% of them.
Surprise. I don't know. Well, I think you're right. The best thing we can do is stand behind this young man, and hopefully we'll see a different dynamic than like what we saw with Alex Petty and Renee Good, where although their murders do need to be decried and protested, we don't need to leave out Keith Porter, and I hope that's not what's happening here, because even though everybody's Black, the fact that some are more famous than others,
right,
plays a role in who's going to get support.
Mm-hmm.
And so I want us to keep talking about officially Jerome with a J.
Yes.
Yeah. LaMikia Castillo is here, and you're welcome to get in the conversation. 800-920-1580. 800-920-1580. Dominique DePrima for KBLA Talk 1580.
A safe place to go loud. A great place for progressive politics. KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey, KBLA delegate, comedy greats, trailblazers who broke barriers, and funny bones at the same time.
You had to grow up early when we was growing up, because your parents were seen to the store to buy. You was too young to buy. I want you to go to the store, get me a fifth of gin and a pack of cigarettes. Mama, I'm two, they ain't gonna let me have that. Here, take this note. You be a little boy walking down the street with liquor and cigarettes, and your neighbors be going, that's a good little boy right there.
We need a little levity right about now, so we're rolling out the red carpet for comedy royalty. D.L. Hughley, Melanie Camacho, Earthquake, Lunel, Dion Cole, Martin Lawrence, and a surprise guest appearance. It's going up Thursday, February 26th in downtown LA at the Grammy Museum. An unforgettable afternoon of stories, celebration, and yes, plenty of laughs, because let's be real, these legends don't just tell jokes. They have changed the game, opened doors, and made history while making us smile.
You gotta go to child support court. You gotta get there real early in the morning. You see brothers going into court. You see them come out 3 hours later. I can't pay this. Let Let me talk to you, baby. Please, let me talk to the witness, Sean. Let me talk to the witness. Brother be working for 3 weeks, get his check is $43.
This year, for the first time ever, we have set aside a limited number of individual tickets for the luncheon. They are going to go fast, and when they're gone, they're gone. So, if you want a single ticket, or if your company or organization wants to sponsor a table, move swiftly and get to KBLA1580.com right now. All these comedy giants in one room on one stage at the same time? Stop it! This event is going to sell out quicker than right now and sooner than at once. KBLA Talk 1580's annual Black History Month luncheon, Thursday, February 26th at the Grammy Museum. It's gonna be legendary, just like them.
What's up? What's up?
What's up?
You got to laugh the pain away.
USC Visions and Voices invites you to the LA premiere of Major, an exciting new dance theater performance exploring the legacy of Majorette dance. Directed by award-winning choreographer Ogemdi Ude, Major combines music and movement to explore what it means to be proudly Black and proudly femme. Join us on Wednesday, February 4th at USC's Bovard Auditorium. Reserve your free ticket now at visionsandvoices.usc.edu. That's visionsandvoices.usc.edu.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. LA County's new Justice Care and Opportunities Department, or JCOD, is here to support justice-involved individuals and their families. The JCOD Support Center is now taking calls at 1-833-LACJCOD. That's 1-833-522-5263. Available 7 days a week from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m., the Support Center is your one-stop shop for re-entry issues and court support. They offer court reminders, connections to local services, transportation assistance for housing, court appearances, and childcare. The JCOD hotline provides personalized help to connect you with services that you need. And don't forget to check out justiceconnect.org for more information. Remember, it's free and available every day at 1-833-522-5263. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Lena Bloom for the Bail Project. Imagine you're stuck in a jail cell and you can't afford bail and someone offers you a way out. Just plead guilty and you can go home and kiss your kids goodnight. What do? What thousands have. You plead guilty whether you are or not. Cash bail makes poverty a crime. That's why the Bail Project helps those who can't afford it while fighting to end cash bail. Because freedom should be free. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver card, so let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything. The Capital One Saver card is at table 27 and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we do more than just talk.
You got a big mouth.
Hello, Joe, you're up. Welcome. We're unapologetically progressive, and we don't black down.
Man, so much to cover. The president is threatening to sue Trevor Noah, apparently, over a joke that he made at the Grammys last night.
Whatever the joke was, I'm sure it was accurate.
And yeah, also defamation suits are pretty hard to prove, but he's getting away with all of this. And that little boy, that 5-year-old boy, Liam Conejo Ramos, and his dad, Adrian, got out of ICE custody.
Thank God. And I hope that they don't end up back in ICE custody. I know it was a big thing for the judge, I believe, who released Liam, was appointed by Bill Clinton many moons ago, and said that the Trump administration needs to take a more humane approach to these deportations and more organized. I don't know what more humane approach would look like to ripping families apart and throwing people out of the country. But I'm glad that they were able to return this baby back to his family.
Yeah, that was heartbreaking. Maybe since they were personally escorted home by Congressman Joaquin Castro, they won't go back, but I don't think that's any guarantee. You were talking about the protests you were at this weekend, LA Times is reporting 50 people in total arrested, but I think what I'm seeing is that that's over the course of the weekend, because there was various different protests and there were demonstrations across the country.
Right. Yeah, we were there with Black Lives Matter on Friday, downtown in front of City Hall. It was a beautiful, diverse array of folks who came out to say we need ICE to stop what they're doing. We need to abolish ICE. And, we say abolish ICE and the police. It's not just one or the other. It's both, because they're one and the same. And I know that the afternoon rally started at 1 p.m. and it was hot. It was really hot. But it was peaceful. Of course, people were angry. We're angry at what ICE is doing. We marched down from City Hall to down Cesar Chavez. Some folks went over to the detention center that's right on First Street. And I would say from about 1 to 5 p.m. or so, there was just people marching, folks supporting by honking their horns, driving down the street. And then things got real turned up real quick by the detention center. And I think that's where probably the majority of those arrests that you just mentioned took place. You
said that you think the whole vibe could get a lot more intense.
I do. I think so. I think people wrongfully believe that ICE is not in LA. In fact, I was in some meetings with public officials last week, and some of them were surprised to know that ICE is still raiding LA, right? What was it? About 2 weeks ago, there was a person who was shot at, thankfully not shot by, but shot at in Linwood by ICE, right while parents were walking their children to school. In the area where I live in the 1st District, and I get daily notifications from our city council member, Eunice Hernandez, saying, hey, we have, we've had ICE sightings in these particular areas, so please be careful. So they're out here in these streets, and I believe that they're going to escalate. There are signs that they're going to be escalating their targeted, arrest here in LA probably this month. I wouldn't be surprised if in the next few weeks we saw some increase like how we saw last year when they started here with us. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw more of that.
Yeah, it's my job to look at the news, and I have noticed a lot of arrests and crackdowns in the smaller LA cities, Compton and Gardena, Carson, and then San Diego. There's been a lot of activity. So they're on the ground in California for sure. I think the tech bros gave a tiny protection to San Francisco, but they're moving in Oakland. The blacker that's the mayor,
right?
The more likely. And I think, probably progressive Latino mayors as well. So I wouldn't be surprised at that. And especially since they're saying the Trump administration is kind of saying that they might draw down a bit in Minnesota. They're trying to bargain for voter rolls and all kinds of stuff, but
yeah,
they're saying that, so yeah, I guess be vigilant. The protests are going to continue. That's going to keep escalating, I believe.
Yeah, I just hope that we don't see the level of violence that we've been seeing. I mean, I wouldn't put it past them. They shot at somebody in Linwood. It was just by happenstance that they missed. Right?
Yeah.
We could have had another situation here. Keith Porter Jr. was killed by an off-duty ICE agent who, by the way, went and got his ICE, from what his cousin described, right? Went and put on his ICE uniform to go out and shoot Keith Porter. So they're monsters. They're out here killing people, separating families. We just have to be vigilant and be mindful of the fact that even though we don't see what's happening in LA as prominently in the news as what's happening in Minnesota, it is happening, and it's Black and brown people who are being targeted right here in our own hometown.
Yeah, and there's things we can do. I mean, there's still a petition for Keith Porter Jr. There is a GoFundMe for his children. The one that says donate for Keith is the right one.
Right.
Because there's more than one, but you want the one that's going to his daughters.
Yes. And please call if you can. Black Lives Matter is at the Police Commission every Tuesday, I believe at 9 a.m. Please go to those meetings, call the Police Commission, call the City Council, let them know that there needs to be some level of accountability. Sign the petition. The petition is, I believe it's at tinyurl.com/sign for Keith, sign SIGHN the number 4, and Keith, Keith.
Yeah, and then the GoFundMe, same thing, only instead of sign for Keith, it's donate for Keith. So that's easy. Yeah, this Epstein files thing, we only have a few minutes left, but man, they're trying to make it go away. Drop it over the weekend during the protest, trying to brush it under the rug. I haven't studied it as deeply as I will.
Well, it's 1 million pages, so good luck.
Yeah, I'm not going to be reading 1 million pages of that.
Yeah.
But from what we're getting so far, just the snippets and things that are being reported that I read, it's pretty gross.
It's disgusting.
Yeah.
It's absolutely disgusting. And I think about being a woman. I think about when I was, the ages of some of these girls that they were targeting. It's just, I think about my nieces. It's scary. It's scary. These men I have a lot of choice words for these men. They're disgusting.
Yeah. I mean, and what does seem to be clear, at least allegedly, is that the president is in fact a pedophile.
Yes.
I mean, there'll be no follow-up. The Justice Department has made that clear, but how is that possible? You're forcing 13-year-olds to perform oral sex upon you, allegedly?
Right. I don't understand why they're not doing further investigation into...
Yeah, they're trying to do just the opposite. And it's really wild that they redacted all Trump and all these rich guys, even though some of it came out anyway. But they've spilled the beans about the victims.
Right. They left their names in there, even though they said they were going to redact them.
Right.
Listen, I used to work for LA County, and at some point I had to do some redaction by hand. It is not that complicated, and that was intentional. I'm telling you right now. If you have, I get that it's millions of pages, but the stuff that y'all chose to put out there, where you said you were going to not have the victims' names, they're clearly, it says above, the victims' names have been removed, and then a sentence down, you see the victims' names. There's no way that somebody missed that.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. Redact means cross out.
Right.
Like how hard can it be? Tell us how to find you. Yeah.
Good luck finding me. You
find LaMikia on the radio with me.
Right. And in the streets, that's where you can find me. But if you you want to find me on social media, it's LaMikia, LAMIKIA, Castillo, CASTILLO.
LaMikia Castillo. You can find me at DiPrima Radio, DIPRIMA, and then radio. And, thank you for being such a great example of being able to juggle boy mom, activist, having a career. You can do it and still not look totally, completely fried and burnt out. Look at LaMikia. She looks like fresh, and I don't know how you do it, girl.
I thank you, because I don't know how I do it either, and I didn't realize I looked fresh. I was like, what's going on with my hair today?
You look fresh-faced and beautiful as
Thank
usual.
You.
Thank you for
just trying to keep up with you,
adding us to your long to-do list. Much love to the hubby and the boys.
Thank you. I love being here, and look forward to our next conversation.
Absolutely. Mindful Monday is next. Let's breathe it out, meditate it out, affirm it out. After news, traffic, and sports, only right here.
LA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. 3 suspects are in custody after a string of home break-ins in Woodland Hills, Los Angeles. One resident security camera caught the crew in action.
I think they were just trying to grab and go. They took my money counter. They took just random things around the house.
Hours later, police arrested a second group after they tried hiding in a Tesla that sped away in reverse, crashing into several parked cars. The University of Iowa is reviewing 13 low enrollment majors, including African American Studies, Gender and Sexuality Studies, and Religious Studies, after a Board of Regents mandate. The study will also look at funding, class sizes, costs, and how each program fits the university's mission. And actress Catherine O'Hara has died at 71. The Emmy-winning star of Beetlejuice and Home Alone passed away Friday in a Los Angeles hospital after a brief illness. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
For victims of drunk and drug driving, our grief is unique. But you are not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call our 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Lakers had a sluggish second half Sunday night in New York at Madison Square Garden. They scored only 18 points in the fourth quarter in their 112-100 loss to the Knicks. After the game, LeBron found out he had been picked as a reserve for the NBA All-Star Game. This will be LeBron's 22nd straight year as an All-Star, an NBA record. The All-Star Game is February 15th at the Intuit Dome in Inglewood. The Clippers will not have any players on the All-Star roster in their home arena. Kawhi Leonard and James Harden were not selected as reserves. Leonard ranks 7th in the league in scoring with 27.7 points per game. Since December 20th, Leonard leads the league in scoring, steals, and free throw percentage. Harden is averaging 25.4 points and 8.1 assists. The Clippers pulled away for a 117-93 win Sunday in Phoenix. Leonard dropped 25. The Clippers are at home tonight against Philadelphia. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Let's do this. On the evening of Monday, January 26th, something special happened. Hundreds of people joined me for a live preview session on the anatomy of a great conversation, and we went deep, for starters, on the notion of curiosity. I mean real curiosity. The kind that transforms how you connect with anyone, anywhere. We explored why most conversations fall flat, and I revealed 3 of the top 5 killers of curiosity that sabotage even the best communicators. But here's the thing, we only scratched the surface. The full 4-week journey begins Monday, February 16th with the Founding Members Cohort. This course is for podcasters, leaders, entrepreneurs, anyone